People they fight
Yeah,
for their own children. Mazi,
yeah,
let
yeah.
me go to another
Fighting for
story
their
that will
belly.
likely shock you too. Maybe not that much.
Thank
All right.
all right.
You have a good
Okay,
afternoon.
brother. Thank you very
Listen,
much.
it's crazy, right? You need to understand. That's why when you are dealing with anything Nigeria, from my own experience, my own tiny, small experience, right? I have learned that you don't go all the way, especially when people are pretending to be fighting for Nigeria or one Nigeria. They are mostly not honest people. You may be honest because you want a one Nigeria that works, right? And that is what pays the abuse because they have to pretend that they also care. But this time, they want to do it. But most of the time, it's all lies, trying to find a means of getting your own little, you know, part of the pie. And you can bite the Nigerian proverbial pie or national cake by different means. You don't even have to be a politician. They don't even have to appoint you into their political offices. And you can still continue to bite the proverbial national cake. Because the criminals in Nigeria, over time, especially if you remember the story of the Soldiers of Fortune, it's not story, it's a book. Soldiers of Fortune. The military rule in Nigeria, the characters, and now they depleted the country. What did they do with their loot? How did they move all their loot? What about the proxies that took the money for them? The monies that Nigeria will never find again, will never see again. And I'm talking about hundreds of millions of pounds, of dollars, of name it. Soldiers of fortune, the military rule, the oil windfall, and God, man. One of them is Jeremiah Useni. Jeremiah Useni sounds about right, yeah? Yeah, you know him. I'll tell you more about him because I'm actually going to read an article on him to you. So they said they bought one house in London as far back as 1992, 93 or thereabout, right? And the value of the house was like £740,000. But the property was bought in fake name. Now with fake name. Money stolen from Nigeria, invested in properties in the UK. And guess what, right? There were so many mansions, properties abandoned that were believed to be owned by many corrupt African criminal politicians. And a chunk of that from Nigeria. I think it was last year, there was a ruling that said they should forfeit some of these unclaimed properties, estates, big stuff in the UK to be forfeited to the states since nobody is forthcoming to claim them. So to say, or the last person that was kind of like known as the owner or the occupant, they are dead and there's nobody turning up again. Stolen money from Nigeria, invested in real estate in the UK for decades. It's been like that. And most of them are bought either in their girlfriend's name, their friend's name, their concubines, like that, boyfriends, and other funny associates. Most of them that they are paraded in front of your TV in Nigeria as partners, investors. They are those who help them to ferry these monies out of the country. Jeremiah Useni is dead, I think, today. But the story is so, I don't know, like, is it funny or so embarrassing? Right? And sad. Actually, that's the word. It's very sad. They try to game the system, but not for long. Only for the human rights lawyer or constitutional lawyer, Ozekhome, the one that was telling us about why Nigeria is not working and won't work, not on this fake constitution or so. He's now fingered in this battle for the ownership of a property that is purely proceed of corruption. Oh, I'm going to share it. Let me read it. Right? 1 second though. Let me share the screen so it will make sense. I should be reading and you'll be watching me like, okay, we're listening. Jeremiah or Jerry Useni caught in a web of forgery, fake death, and false names in UK property. That's what Tech Cable used as their own rider. So let's use that. I'll bring it on the screen and I'll read it out. Take my intermittent break and then take calls. Okay. So the rogues looting Nigeria from time immemorial, right? Even in death, they still very much causes a ruckus. Now let's try it this way. The story, the beginning. So this case began with what appeared to be a routine application at the land registry in London in February 2023. How did Ozekhome become part of this? We'll see. So here is the story. Oh, hang on. It's my screen. Right. So Ozekhome, Michael Ozekhome, sought to register a transfer of the property executed in his favor in August 2021 by Mr. Tali Shani. Tali Shani is Jeremiah Useni or Jerry Useni, a former minister in Nigeria under the military rule, by the way. So Ozekhome was working to get the property transferred to him because, according to him, the owner, Mr. Tali Shani is a fake name, to let you know. So Mr. Tali Shani has given the property to him, Michael Ozekhome, as a gift, I think, in London. So Ozekhome now was making a move to get it transferred to himself. And dear Kasala burst. So here I said, but when the solicitors representing Miss Tali Shani, oh, hang on. Let's start from here, right? She said, when the solicitors representing Miss Tali Shani is also a fake name, just like Mr. Tali Shani. Miss Tali Shani is a fake name created, but you know the wonderment here, Baba, this fake identity gets NIN in Nigeria, BVN, ECOWAS passports, Nigeria passport, all of this stuff manufactured in Nigeria to deceive the court in the UK. So they said, Mr. Tali Shani transferred the property to Mr. Tali Shani. Mr. Tali Shani is now fighting Ozekhome, I think, because Ozekhome said Mr. Tali Shani transferred it to him. But there is no Mr. Tali Shani, there is no Mr. Tali Shani. Or fake. But what is real is that the Mr. Tali Shani happened to be Jerry Useni. And Michael Ozekhome is also real, a constitutional lawyer in Nigeria who possibly knows about this fraud. Right? But yeah, Nigerian lawyers are very famous for that. We'll come to that. So they said effectively, both Mr. Tali Shani and Mr. Tali Shani, one male, the other female, were claiming ownership of the same property. So what followed, the tribunal said, was a quite extraordinary series of hearings filled with mutual accusations of forgery, conspiracy, corruption, and impersonation. Fake identity and web of lies first. So central to the case was the identity of a Mr. Tali Shani, who never appeared before the tribunal, despite multiple adjournments. In 2024, our lawyers said she was hospitalized and later produced documents claiming she had died in Nigeria. The tribunal examined those documents closely. Medical reports, a Nigerian national identity slip, a mobile phone bill, a death certificate, and even an obituary notice. Anakwe Marcel Obasi had testified as a witness claiming to be a cousin of the applicant. He claimed that late cousin Miss Tali Shani and the late General Jeremiah Useni had a very long affair, an affair that I believed lasted a decade and remained cordial and friendly afterwards. Obasi claimed that his cousin, Miss Tali Shani, had told him that she once wanted to move to the UK but changed her mind, but then gave money to the late Jeremiah Useni to assist her in the purchase of a property in London, where she was going to reside in the early 1990s. So the witness admitted that he had not produced a single photograph of himself with his supposed cousin, Useni, the respondent, or even his purported nephew, Damola. So he said, photographer, this is the web of lies, photographer killed by bandits. So when pressed on this, he explained that he was not a photogenic person and that he never found it necessary to take such pictures. Regarding the alleged funeral, rites, and burial of his cousin, Mr. Lishani, he said, Mr. Talishani, he said that there had been an official photographer present, but added a dramatic claim that the photographer was killed by a bandit 2 days after the funeral. Ayodele Damola, who claimed to be the biological son of Mr. Lishani, said his mother purchased the property in 1993. He also claimed that his mother was in a relationship with Useni in that period, and that my mother, through General Useni, agreed to rent out the property rather than living the same fallow. So Damola also alleged that the transfer of the property to Ozekhome was an attempt by Useni to repay 54 million naira, which he had borrowed from the senior lawyer for an election campaign. Now here Ozekhome enter. So Damola, the cousin to, so the nephew to Mr. Lishani, claiming that Mr. Lishani had transferred the property to Ozekhome. And because Mr. Lishani, oh, hang on, that can mix it. Right? Okay, let's take that again. It's confusing, right? So, said Damola also alleged that the transfer of the property to Ozekhome was an attempt by Useni to read. Okay, so it was Useni that transferred the property to Ozekhome. So the bone of contention from Damola now is that Useni bought the house, but the money used in buying the house was given to Useni by Mr. Lishani, who is now dead. But 2 days after a funeral, the photographer that took pictures of the funeral got killed by bandits, so they don't have any evidence of the funeral. So it is now that Useni was the one who now gave the house to Ozekhome. So who is Mr. Talishani? But for those who probably remember Jeremiah Useni or Jerry Useni in Jaws back in the days, right? They said most of his investments had names like Tali, Shani, Tali, this Tali, or Shani that. So is Mr. Talishani, a fake name that, anyway, let's continue. He said, he told the tribunal that the general had first asked his mother, Demola is actually the son to Mr. Lishani. Sorry about that. Damola is now the daughter to Mr. Lishani, who says that the general had first asked his mother to transfer the property to the respondent, but when she refused, they then persuaded a poor innocent man, presumably Mr. Talishani, to apply for a passport and pose as the owner. Web of lies, confusing, right? So Mr. Talishani, okay, let me just rack my brain a bit, okay. So Jeremiah Useni was supposed to buy a house for Mr. Lishani. When they bought the property is in the name of one Mr. Talishani. So now, Jeremiah Useni asked Mr. Lishani to transfer the property to Ozekhome, but she refused. So Jeremiah Useni now hired a man called Talishani to go and get passport and go and pose as the owner of the house. I don't get that. Because the property is in the name of Mr. Talishani. You'll see the property, don't worry. You will. But here, I think I'll put it more like bigger. Now, public money where they still they travel all these places so far. You get? So anyway, now a series of contradictions and discrepancies. While Obasi had claimed Mr. Lishani was terminally ill, resided in Lagos and barely had any mobility, Damola, in an affidavit, said his mother died in a road accident along Jos Abuja Road. A purported death certificate stated that she died in a hospital, while an affidavit sworn in Abuja on the 7th of October 2024 by her supposed son claimed that she had died on 3rd October 2023 by accident along Jos Plateau State and Abuja Way. Another contradiction was that on the obituary, a Thanksgiving service was listed for Sunday, November 30, 2024, but that date did not match the calendar. Now, Mrs. Talikani Bedato. My people craze mental gone new, but wait, let me see if I can put it boldly on the screen. See Mrs. Talishani, late Mr. Talishani, 79. But the funniest is that this person doesn't exist at all. She doesn't exist. And Ozekhome, who is a constitutional lawyer, is in the middle of it because of who is going to kind of like officially get the property in their name. Do you get it now? So they said that on the November 30th, 2024 was actually a Saturday, with the Sunday falling on December 1. This mismatch was one of the factors that led the tribunal to dismiss the obituary as a forgery. There were also discrepancies in Ms. Dali Shani's date of death presented by the witnesses. Fake NIN, fake address. Festus Esongbedo, head of legal, regulatory and compliance services at the National Identification Number, National Identity Management Commission, NIMC rather, testified that he investigated the National Identification Number, NIN slip presented by Talishani was fake, fraudulent, and not authorized by the commission. Ozekhome is involved in all these forgeries. Just don't mix it together. Here you get. Because the purpose was to get the UK tribunal to transfer the ownership of the property to him, Ozekhome. Not that he's representing anybody here. Information is that Jerry Useni owed Ozekhome 54 million naira. And the 54 million naira, to pay for that, Jeremiah Useni wants Ozekhome to have a 740,000 pounds property in London. You get that now? So they now have to create a persona for this tally, or I don't know. Because anyway, let's continue. This is Miss Tali's and I actually don't know about Jesus Christ. Did they see Mrs. Tally? You see her NIN. Now her NIN be that. And it is fake. So the NIN slip was forged according to NIMC. Further investigation said confirmed it was obtained by irregular means, leading to its complete removal from the system. Among the irregularities he highlighted were that the registration was done remotely in Monaco rather than in person. No fingerprints were captured because the unknown agents who created the NIN had fraudulently made use of the amputee provisions. Provisions of. Do you understand that? How you seeing gone man? The person wanted to make the fake document, right? Fill the part that said the applicant is an amputee, which means they've cut off their limb, so they can't thumbprint. So no thumbprinting. Mr. Lee. So another witness, Ibrahim Sini, a superintendent with the Force Intelligence Department, Nigerian Police Force, traced the mobile bill, supposedly in the name of Mr. Lee, Shani, back to its real source. Then do ECOWAS travel document for Miss Shani. Do you see that? Let me see if I can bring that up. See that document? That's a big document. I mean, that's a ECOWAS document, travel document. For somebody we know exists to, but the plan, is to finally possibly go claim the house. Because 750,000